Good evening and welcome. It is Monday Night Football, Laguso at TV, Gamalamu Kamzambata, as we reflect as what's been happening as far as football, things within the field, things outside of the field. Of course, there's all sorts of permutations around the results that have happened in the rest of Africa as far as continental competition is concerned, and the DSTV Premiership. And then we also look ahead to what might be a dud vote now at the end of the week for Dr. Patrice Motsepe, who's literally waiting in the wings to take up the top job at CAF. Let me welcome you to my panel this evening. Joining us, I have Timothy Batabayere, who's in the house this evening. Welcome, Tim. We've also got Jeff Katala in the house. And the man, Timbane, who is... you were hot on the scene today, and I want to start here because it is obviously one of the news stories from today of the DSTV Premiership Coach of the Month and Player of the Month and Goal of the Month with Benny McCarthy, Peter Shalulile and Kogi's Goal, if I'm not mistaken, the ones winning the big prizes. Yeah, man. Good evening to you as well and the guys. I think from my side, looking at Kogi, a lot of people today on social media have been asking, Ubando. Okay. You know, because he's not one of the fanciest or the most flamboyant players. Did they not see his goal? Yeah, well, South African fans, let's be honest. What are you saying? It's the public that voted for that goal. Let's be honest. Yeah. I mean, it's voted by Amazulu fans. Okay. Yes, and some of the people within the space. So you don't think like a fan who looked at that goal and said, Yasin, gel us down, that's a good goal. You don't think anyone did that? For the fact that some of them were asking Gutuban, it should tell you that they don't even know him. But then that's one thing that we spoke to the coach about, Benny McCarthy, to say, we see even the players like Ukogi, who has been with the Amazulu team for the longest time. He went through trials and tribulation. He had an accident where they said he will never play football again. And look at him today. He's receiving that award. And he has never even won a trophy with Amazulu himself. I mean, the last time they won a trophy, as per his story, was when George Denley was still there, 30 years. That's a long time ago. I mean, he was not even born for that matter. For sure. And then he gets to lift this trophy today, thanks to the DSTV Premiership, that he gets to have at least some little accolade there on his shelf. I think he's even smiling looking at it as we speak. So it's quite a good story to tell for him individually. Okay, well, congratulations to him and, of course, to Coach Benny McCarthy. He got himself 15 points from 8 league games in that stint. It was between the 13th of January and the 24th of February. And then, of course, the Player of the Month, Peter Shalulile, he helped... and he scored 3 goals to help provide 2 assists also in 5 appearances, missing one of the Brazilians' 6 games. Only one. That's how reliable he's been, Timothy. And obviously, you know, a big piece of that puzzle. And as you can see, always someone that you can entrust, especially, which is strange for someone in their first season, to say as a team, you can trust this player to get the job done. Look, good evening to all of you. It's very interesting when it comes to Peter. For me, I think he has been the best signing so far this season. It's seldom you sign a player joining a team of Sundowns caliber and then he performs so well like that, having lost the coach. You had Solino having all these issues off the field and then coming back. And he's scoring goals week in, week out. But for me, it is his work rate, his willingness to work for the team before he shines himself. You know, he harasses the defenders, he drops deep to defend, and he has got an eye for goal. And I'm not surprised with the service of the likes of Zwane. Sundowns will always have the ball. Sundowns will always create those chances. But he has got that last touch. He has got the nose for goal, and he knows where the net is. And I think he's the best signing so far we have seen. He gets on the score sheet again, Jeff, in this Champions League on a big stage. Lots of people watching. Peter Shalulile is at a top club, but you wonder, is this the beginning of a journey? Do you think in this kind of form, on the stage, and hopefully with a new president who's going to furthermore exploit these television rights, how much longer do you think Sundowns can hold on to him, considering the eyes from afar, North Africa, maybe even in the Middle East?
I've seen Peter when he joined Highlands Park 2 seasons ago, and I watched his work rate. It was extraordinary. I said, but this young boy will go far. And I was talking the season before last season to Owen Dagama.
Right.
And he told me that, yes, when I make my team, I put him there first and I put the rest.
Right.
Yeah, so
Yes.
he's almost 50% of the team. Coming back to what Timothy was saying, this guy has got a very good reading of the box. He knows where to place himself and how to receive the ball. If you look at the game on Saturday in Lubumbashi, you will see how he managed to be between the two center defenders, but they couldn't catch him. And he received the ball. The way he scored that goal was if it was taking a penalty. So he was so free and so alone. So for me, if you want to go outside, Sundowns should let him go.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's see. I mean, obviously, he's at Sundowns looking to win trophies, but let's speak about an easy win, as it seems. At least by Friday, we'll know that Dr. Patrice Motsepe Timothy Batabayera is the new president of CAF. Ahmad, not being able to overrule the CAS ruling, has just been suspended to 2 years now. But, you know, some people were looking forward to the festivity of having a whole vote. None of that. It's sorted now. We don't even have to worry. Everything is a formality at the weekend.
Look, now it makes sense why he delayed to make a public announcement for his candidature. He was doing things the unusual
The secretive way.
They were the corporate way,
Okay.
unlike what we are used to. So he went about meeting various FA presidents and various people concerned and getting abreast with what is concerned, what is needed for African football. And at the last moment, he has come up to announce that, yes, they need to, when he announced his manifesto, you could see that it's something that is very detailed. And now we understand, you know, when you have got the most important candidate, Senghor of Senegal, you know, saying, I will stand down because of the fact that we have got somebody who can lead us far. For me, it's not about who is standing down. It's all about what we need to do for African football. In a long time, we have not had a leader that is morally upright to try and lead us as Africans. Remember, when you become the CAF president, automatically become the vice president of FIFA. So for me, this is an opportunity for us to rewrite our history books, to come together and try to make this brand of Africa shine. And I think with Motsepe's culture, we shall raise our hands to say, listen, Europe, take note. We can lead ourselves. The leaders have been embraced. No one has been taken aside. With Ahmad, God forbid, you know, yes, he led to that transition where we had to let go of Hayatu, and then we accepted a change can take place on the African continent that has given way to Motsepe coming through. But I'm interested to see how CAF will be run after the 12th of March.
That's the key thing. I mean, but is this democracy in action, Mr. Katala? I mean,
Why not?
people cry about no unity in African football. Finally, here it is, and now you're saying no.
I'm very impressed by the way you described the whole thing. But I would have wanted that system to be done by our own people, by Africans, not by Infantino. Because he's the one behind everything.
Right.
I don't have any problem with Patrice Motsepe because actually it will be the very first time that we're having someone from English-speaking country leading CAF. And I know that his business acumen are second to none.
Right.
So he will do a very good job.
Right.
But I don't like just the path to the presidency, how it was done. You cannot come and dictate what you want to have your guy placed there. Not your guy, but your guys. But now he becomes, as Timothy said, he will become the vice president of FIFA. What if you want to run against Infantino to be the president of FIFA? Because this is where I see him.
I mean, is that not far off? And also, is that not something where he says, I know where my bread is buttered. I don't need to be the head of
If he
FIFA.
does a very good job at CAF,
Yeah.
we will push him to be to contest the FIFA presidency.
And it might come with his blessing then
Oh, yes.
at that stage.
And I'm very happy that he is there because he's very new. He is not involved in,
untainted,
shady dealings in CAF and corruption, things like that. He's very new. He goes there as a neutral person, and sponsors and business would like someone like him.
Sure.
So he represents a lot for Africa. So I wish him good luck. but I don't want Infantino to say this, to appoint people. It should be EXCO, the Executive Committee of CAF, deciding on people who will be leading us.
Timane, I mean, it sounds like these are all just the growing pains of this process, that you're going to have the meddling from Infantino, you're going to have the split camps and, you know, the influence and the brown envelopes, whatever you call it, all these things leading up. Are they justified? Does the ends justify the means when you look that come the 12th of March, it will mean that Patrice Motsepe is in charge?
You know, I looked at it in a different way, Kamza. I said to myself, just a bit of what Jeff is saying. You look at how it's done. You can't say we are all candidates running for the same seat and then you come to me and say, step down because Jeff is more powerful than you. And then we lobby for each other and say, if you want to stand down, then and not go head to head with Jeff.
But what if I'd gone against Dr. Patrice, lost, and been left out in the cold? Is this not maybe an opportunity to say, okay, come in?
It's no longer.
I can still lose,
yes,
but he can take me on board.
Yes,
No.
he can still lose.
Why?
And
Well,
take
you're
it.
opposing
But
it.
now,
No, but this is what's happening. Remember, we have got Fauzia. You know, he had his own camp in the likes of Sengo. Now, with the lobbying and the elections, you can read between the lines that, listen, I think our lobbying is not winning. You've got, you know, East Africa, you've got Kosafa backing Motsepe. You can read between the lines that definitely we are headed for losing this election.
Right.
And then you say, okay, listen, what if we stand down in exchange for this? And all of you are standing to streamline the organization and the management of African football. And I think at this moment in time, I need to applaud them. Yes, you are saying you don't need the Infantino influence. I beg to differ. Why? Because Infantino is not directly influencing. He's just giving direction of what we know. What we need is that capable leadership. We have got...
Which direction?
no, but how much does he know about
Yeah,
our people
no,
that we know very well, the Sengos and all of
But
them?
maybe he's saying he knows how to run a...
This is what's happening.
Are we not being remote controlled?
Not.
Yes,
because,
we are.
No.
What will
Because
we?
in the,
Some say
likes,
no, why not?
in the likes of Motsepe, somebody is coming on board, not for money, not for anything else, but for the love of football. I don't think Infantino can try to remote control Motsepe. If he does, I think we'll be shocked to the core that won't happen. What is important right now is for the FA presidents of the 54 FA presidents to realize and say, listen, we can grow African football in a way that Europe has not seen before. Credible leadership. Remember, you know, Motsepe is going to be the head. You know, he may have to learn from the likes of Anuo, Sengo, because they know more football administration. He's going to bring the corporate leadership into CAF, which have been lacking. We're not going to have a president being arrested in France because of shady issues. So for once, CAF as a brand will stand on the platform to say, listen, corporate world, you're welcome to sponsor African football.
Yeah, but you see, we are in a situation where we say that we do have some Patrice Motsepe business acumen, no problem. But he does know politics in Africa when it comes to football. He does know that. He's going to learn.
Yeah,
and I do give him credit. His pedigree, his credibility, his personality as a businessman. Of course, he won't get money. He wants steal money from CAF.
For sure, but all those things you've spoken about, he's literally swept aside. All those issues in terms of usually he doesn't know the politics. Here's someone who doesn't know the politics. He's come in and he swept all those issues aside and inserted himself.
No, we haven't seen him.
He knows what he's doing, clearly.
We haven't seen him. No. With the backing of Infantino, we shouldn't forget that.
Also, I mean,
Yeah,
it
Infantino
worked,
has
though.
played a
It worked.
huge
It
role.
It
Has
worked, though,
played a
Jeff.
huge role.
The other ones bent the knee.
But they bend the knee. Why?
Exactly.
Because the president, the head of the state, asked them to do so.
So is
because
that a-
Infantino
is-
went to see the
is
head
that a
of the
corrupt
state.
act?
Yes.
Is that a corrupt act?
You shouldn't have done that. Leave us as Africans taking decision about our destiny ourselves.
But
We
Jeff-
do have people who are flying at NASA, they're going into space.
Okay.
We do have Africans leading big
But
organizations.
to what effect, though,
Are
Jeff?
we incapable to have someone who can run CAF on our own?
Jeff, will
Patrice
people will look
Motsepe
at
can do
CAP.
that.
People will look at CAP and point at it exactly and say,
Jeff,
this is
one
what we
question-
allowed you.
One question I want have for you. I think we have got the history of that independence.
Yes.
And we have abused that independence until now. We are having a former head of CAF, not even eligible to stand because of issues we all know.
No, we issue that you of FIFA want us to be.
No.
It is like that.
No.
Because the president of FIFA himself,
No.
he's been investigated. Why was he not suspended?
No, the issue is, this is what is happening.
No.
Ahmad Hamad sponsored a few FAs, for a pilgrimage. And he has not denied that as a fact. So he has not said
Joao
it's clean.
Avalanche have done that at FIFA level many times over.
Yes, but who brought that case against him? No one. Because we need a case to be presented. And here we have got Ahmed Hamad facing those cases and presented before him. And he has not proven otherwise.
Remember that there were two cases. There
Yes.
were FIFA Gate,
Yeah.
where he said that he has taken 100,000 US dollars from Aman bin Aman. And then he was not suspended because he was doing what Infantino wanted.
Right.
But now, for 82,000 US dollars, I don't say this is small money, he's being punished.
No, he's not being punished.
Yes, he's being
No,
punished.
once you claim-
Why was he not prosecuted on the first offense?
Incident, yeah.
Yes.
That's fine, but I mean, as long as they catch him, no? Does it have to happen in a specific sequence?
A crime is a crime.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
This should have come from CAF Executive Committee, not to FIFA. That's why I'm against that ethic committees of FIFA.
Right.
Because we're capable of doing our own.
But Jeff, we had Musa
Okay,
Bereti
fair enough.
raising some of these issues and he was kicked out. So in CAF, we have got a tendency when we ask for
But he
credible
was-
leadership.
He was not kicked
You-
out.
you-
He was not
you-
kicked
you are
out
su-
by
you are
CAF.
suspended.
He was not kicked out by CAF. The same as Pinnick. Pinnick was not kicked out by CAF. Infantino again.
But who makes the call? It's the CAF
Infantino.
president. It's not
Who strikes
Infantino.
again?
It's the CAF president. So the CAF president should take the brunt for that decision.
Because he did accept to
No,
be
no,
put
no,
in
no, no.
power
No.
by Infantino.
So,
I believe that with Patrice Motsepe, this will stop.
Okay.
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree with
From next term, it should stop.
Let's be grateful
Yeah.
for that at least.
Yeah.
Let's be grateful for that. Okay, so at least there is some hope as far as governance is concerned for Africa's big footballing mother body. We're going to continue our conversation and look at results on the pitch, though. Those will take place after we take a short little break. Konala Guso to TV as Monday Night Football continues after this. Welcome back. Now, Mamelodi Sundowns did the unthinkable and got themselves a famous victory in Lubumbashi against TP Mazembe. Of course, the big factor and the elephant in the room will be the fact that there weren't that many supporters in the stadium when it is usually a cauldron for the Brazilians. This time around, they were able to get goals into the back of the net, courtesy of Peter Shalulile and, of course, Lala K. Looking at that one, sir, Mr. Katala, I mean, here's a good result, one that's critical for progression in this, but also as far as a state of mind for Mamelodi Sundowns that they're in and what it sends as a message to the other teams.
Yes, first of all, the coach Ngiti did say that it was a privilege for them not to have the fans in the stadium. You say that because he won, but what if here the lose? Will he say that because of the fans were not in the stadium, that's why we lost? I think he won't say that. But when it comes to the game on Saturday, marvelous game, beautiful game, two very good teams. And I salute Sundowns because they did the due diligence with aplomb. They did send someone there to study the ground, to see the atmosphere, how the things will be.
Right.
They even attend a league game where TP Mazembe was involved a week before. So it means that they meant business and they went there with a mission. And they were not even intimidated. And they did a marvelous job.
I guess that's,
Congratulations.
no, for sure. I mean, looking at that, TP Mazembe, we were speaking about them on the show last week in terms of they're not the same. And, you know, Jeff kind of did raise the issues that as far as the chairman's concerned, they're going through a bit of a restructuring process. Is this to be expected kind of where they are at the moment? Did Sundowns catch them at the perfect time?
I beg to disagree. TP Mazembe is TP Mazembe, Sundowns is Sundowns. We expect the best out of the best. Restructuring is part of football. It's a process. It should be coordinated and it should not be a reason as to why you are losing. But if it
Oh,
comes,
it is a reason.
there is nothing because you have the
Even
same.
Barcelona
Because now what's happened? That's
So
part
you
of
can't
football.
lose during.
No, you can lose. But I'm
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
it's not justification for why they are losing or not performing well. That they have no points at this moment in time. But what is important now? Remember, they have kept almost the same technical team. You've got the two assistants in 2017. That is in Meti and the family. You know, being the heads now
Yeah,
at this
but
moment
yeah,
in time. For
me,
me, what is great and I'm proud Sundowns is putting an end to 11 years of winning at Mazembe. They are not lost in 11 years in the CAF Champions League. I think Sundowns, they mean business. I think they have got their eyes onto the prize, and also I think the players realize that they need to send off their president. We can say the outgoing Sundowns president, a token of appreciation. They are playing so well and their commitment. For me, if you look at how they even, after getting a red card, if you look at their structure of how they started playing, and then they considered the equalizer, and then eventually they transformed their formation to try and go for that kill. This is a team with full in confidence, and I think all teams remaining, you take notice of Sundowns.
Tema, I mean, we speak about how just well-oiled this machine is for Mamelodi Sundowns, but, the planning is meticulous. They send someone ahead to go look and scout the competition. They're able to see it through on such a big stage, 90th minute, getting such a critical goal at Lakay on the road.
I think it's what's important within the Sundown structure is that when Pizzo left, their actual structure didn't collapse. Actually, they've enhanced it, adding the likes of Compella. Like the guys are saying that they are probably the front runners. They go up and just to check what's the situation. Each and every one has got his or her his own thingy
Specialty,
assignment
yeah, for
and
sure.
specialty. Look at their medical team, and they've got a huge squad, by the way, in terms of the back office. Their technical team, I think they've got about 12 to 15 people that travel with the team all the time. So
Right.
it should tell you that they still have their eyes on the big prize. And if there's any time that they must win this is it. What a way for President Motsepe to top it up if they can win
what
it.
I noticed as well, it was when they did receive the red card, it was how they reshuffled the team.
Yeah.
The game plan
Yeah.
changed.
Right.
So they put someone as a liberal, which we're not used to anymore.
Right.
And they were playing, and that's why they caught him. They caught them on a counter, and they did benefit from that free kick. So which means that they took the time to video analyze the opponent,
Yes,
TP
yes.
Mazembe,
And-
and they did very well.
And of course, their previous video analyst went away with Pizzo. So
Right.
the guy that they've got is
The
a
new
new
guy.
guy.
He's
He went
doing
in
well.
and slotted in like that. There's so much that technology does these days because they can track your movement, the opposition, everything about
patterns,
the
everything,
and
yeah.
the patterns. The game changed. Even I've picked up that they can actually pick the sign language, the lips on the coaches, what they're saying whenever probably they consider goal on their critical phases. Everything goes into the video analyst. The technology
Yeah.
that allows them to actually read everything. That if they sub Jeff with Temba will come in and
Right.
he will do this sign. Then they know what it means. At corner kicks, if he does this, if he does this, if he does whatever, they know what is going to happen. Because at first we used to think that a player will go to the corner and just put his hands here. It was just maybe a pose, but only to find that it's a meaning. So Sundowns have got the notes of every team that they come against.
Tim, can they win it? I mean, there's tough competition in here and some big names still to come, but so far, looking so good.
Why not? They have got a good balanced squad. They can fancy their chances. They are former champions in the CAF Champions League. That gives them an honors to go for it. And mind you, they are performing well on the local front. Normally, you have that imbalance of how
Right.
do you juggle the two. But now they're on the top of the league. Even when they are not playing, they are still on top of the league, and then they are winning away. That gives them the hunger to try and say we can go for it. And you've got the veterans, the Kakanas, Onyangos in the squad. Players who have won trophies, that comes on to hunger well for their competition, to continue pushing for it. I think if they continue taking game by game, they'll be able to beat the finals.
I've seen them. I've seen all the teams
Yeah.
that have qualified for the group stage, home and away. But no team comes near Sundowns by the way they play.
Right.
They don't care whether they play away from home or they play at home. They still have the same mentality.
Not even that one with their old coach.
Well, Al-Ahly, I saw Al-Ahly against Vita. Al-Ahly is not a very strong team this time around.
Look at where they are sitting right now.
Yeah,
And
so
even
that
in their group.
I watched the game on Sunday night, Saturday.
I did too.
You're not convinced?
No, I'm not convinced.
I honestly, as much as I love Coach Pizzo, but
Yeah.
I don't see him going all the way to the semis or even the finals.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we'll reach the finals.
I was going to say, is it not one of those things
Because-
where you
because-
kind of hit the form at the right times, Timothy, you know?
Listen, this team has not rested. If you get all these injuries and they really are playing everything,
That's not our problem.
This
They
team-
have to manage the team.
That's what I'm saying. What they need is to get out of the group stages, and they still have the home advantage to try and get that. And they're third. They can easily get into that. Just to qualify is what Pizzo need for that team to try and believe.
Okay, let me just put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
The Al-Ahly of the Abu Trikas and all of them compared to this one, which one would you be more certain that these guys will go all the way?
I love your question because you're mentioning players of Africa who are not present even in the current play. So I would say the players are different. Yes, the Africa team was a wonderful team. That was the Egyptian team.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the Egyptian team.
Much,
So it's different from this one. And if you look at the players that have come in with Pizzo and the way he wants them to play, when you are home, there's that the Al Hilal has got more of the ball. They are passing around the ball, which was not the case of the team. So you're going to have those changes. They will think that they are sitting back, but they are not sitting back, and then they punish you because they are not winning. There's that this is not the Hilal team that we know and everything like that, but it will get better. I don't doubt Pizzo.
I cannot understand because I was not impressed by Vita when they played at Omdurman against El Merreikh.
Yeah.
I was not at all impressed by Vita performance.
By that, yeah.
the 2 weeks ago, but on Saturday night in Cairo, I was very impressed for a team playing at home of the pedigree of Al-Ahly.
Yeah.
They couldn't even manage to beat Vita. And Vita is not the strongest that we used to know.
Well, I guess maybe, like Timothy's alluding to, it's about when you peak, and there might be a time that they find form. But obviously, it's critical to him keeping his job, Coach Pizzo. Qualification, he has to, at the bare minimum,
He has to.
have to deliver that.
But I want Sundowns to win it.
But
I'd love to see a match between Sundowns and Al-Ahly.
Oh yes, they
Of
will
course,
play.
that is the
That will
dream.
be yes.
That is the dream matchup. That is the dream matchup. Okay, well, let's see if they go through. But let's talk about Kaiser Chiefs. They were able to get themselves a 2-0 victory against Petro de Luanda. And I guess, more than anything, Mtimbane, this is just more relief to get a victory under the belt in this competition that, one wonders if they have what it takes to be in it for the long haul. But this will do, if anything, the confidence of the squad good.
Moral boosting win for Kaiser Chiefs. But, okay, again, who has not beaten Petro de Luanda?
Right.
They're there
So
for the
it's
taking.
not a
They're the
stern
whipping boys
test.
of the group, yeah.
Right.
They're the whipping boys. They have not beaten anyone. They have not done anything. They just came here for an appearance. And for Kaiser Chiefs, I think this was a moral booster for them. We need them to win these games and have the taste and the feel of winning in the CAF Champions League, and they've done it. I mean, with the young stars, look at their injury list that they are having as a team. Apart from all the other problems that are happening at Kaiser Chiefs, they've also had to go through a lot of suspensions, injuries. Other players are out because of family bereavement and all of that.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of stuff happening at Kaiser Chiefs. We got to give them credit for this win. If they were not strong mentally, Petro could have taken this and said, okay, this is where they are at their weakest, because right now only a prayer is holding it.
Now you've made my night, because I didn't appreciate when you say that who has not beaten Petro. But this is Champions League. They have qualified to be in the group stage. And now you're mentioning all odds that are against the Chiefs. And I'm very happy that they managed to beat.
I mean, you must be proud of them.
Yes,
with
I'm
what
very
they
proud
have.
of them.
All,
Yes.
if you can look at 90% of the players who played on Saturday,
Right.
they are newbies in this space.
Sure.
They don't even have the expertise on how to play CAF Champions League.
In this
They're
space,
just starting.
yeah, for
Yes,
sure.
and for them to get that first win, it will go a long way. Even in the league, probably they'll come back and pick up points.
And I mean, maybe that's the benefit, Timothy, is that they could have taken that momentum and go into the league, but could this possibly be a distraction for them? Because, I mean, you know, how realistically, how far are they going to get? And aren't there more pressing matters in the DSTV Premiership for them to be concerned about?
No, from my experience, I know that if you perform well in the CAF Champions League, the local league should be easy to try and navigate it. We know all what has been said about Kaiser Chiefs.
Right.
For me, the most important thing is not about the youngsters and all those theories. I think those are always raised to try and defend the status quo. If you don a Chiefs jersey, irrespective whether you're 15-year-old, it means you have matured to try and perform to the levels and expectation of Kaiser Chiefs.
Right.
So them winning this game against Petro, I think that shows the work that Gavin Hunt is trying to do in rebuilding this squad. There's no doubt in my mind that they're going to become more competitive. Gavin Hunt loves to win. You know, if you see how he demonstrates on the touchline, irrespective of how they are performing, he still demands the best out of this squad.
Right.
Now, Kaizer Chiefs players are playing for their contracts at this moment in time. You either perform and remain a Kaizer Chiefs player, or you pack your bags, leave them in the dressing room, ready to leave at the end of the season.
Well, there we go, food for thought for them. But as to that point from Timothy, it was one of the old and one of the new as far as Matoho and Mashiani getting on the score sheet in that encounter. That's far as we go as far as the African adventure is concerned with CAF club competitions. We'll take a short little break, after which we're going to resume the DSTV Premiership, looking back on the matches that were at the weekend in the, 6 matches that happened at the weekend? We're going to look back on those after the break. Welcome back. It is Monday Night Football, Lagos Soweto TV, DSTV Premiership action as we see Orlando Pirates laying waste to Chippa United at the weekend. The Buccaneers being able to get themselves all 3 points on this occasion. Timbani, another one for the Ghost as far as consistency is concerned. You know, it's one of those things where a good display, but you wonder if there had been more of these throughout the season, could it be a credible title charge for Orlando Pirates? At this moment, looking good, but you wonder, you know, what for?
My thinking says, had they converted 2 or 3 of their draws into wins and 2 of their losses into draws,
Right.
they could have been somewhere at the top.
Sure.
But now you're chasing a team that has not played local football for as long as I can remember, but still no catching up with them.
Right.
So 4 games apart, you know, 4 games in hand.
And Pirates have played some of the more of the games.
Yes, you have 4 games over
Yeah.
in terms of the Sundowns that you're chasing. So it then goes down to you saying, okay, let's just pray and hope that they win one, they lose one of their games, you know, and then draw one and lose one, and then we're still not too far. I mean, SuperSport is drifting, is going further down.
Right.
Swallows is losing it, is going further down. There's absolutely nobody to challenge them unless all these teams start praying together and say, at least they lose one game, they lose the second, and then we
But
go
it also
on.
comes to the management, because in a professional league, you cannot allow someone to have 4 games in hand. You cannot. It's 1 or 2.
You're right. But then Sundowns, you know, they usually start off late in their league, you know, aspirations. Whenever they always have a slow start.
Yeah, but
in the PSL,
it shouldn't be happening where you have got, you know,
4 is too much.
4 is too
Yeah,
much.
4 is just too much.
Yeah.
With better planning and everything like that, it's very easy. We saw that with Pizzo. He capitalized on that when they had only 2 games just in hand. And he capitalized on that and he pushed Kaizer Chiefs until the end and they won the championship. So when you have those so many games, you know, you are giving one team an advantage that is quite huge. But again, you know, they are representing DSTV, you know, championship. But I think there has to be a way when Sundowns comes about, they need to try and reschedule those games.
But I mean, they've
to try
tried.
and
I mean,
cover.
there were issues with the COVID and, you know, different venues. So the league is trying to find the balance, which I can only imagine is tricky between fresh players and league commitments. But, you know, and all the other competitions that they're involved in. It's a fine balancing act. I want to see an FA that gets it 100% right with all the challenges we had as an African football in the past year. But looking at that performance with the cheaper Dan Malesela, are you convinced that there's something there? Or this is one of those where, because he even seemed to say after the game that sometimes players need to, do more.
He came in and said there are players who cannot even pass properly. And yet they're still getting paid. Well, that's Dan for you. But again, it comes back to the minds. Once you tell your players that guys who have not had a win against Pirates in the past 5, 6, 7 seasons, what are you planting? How special are these boys to come through and change the history that you as a coach have given
As a coach, he's meant to teach them how to pass the ball.
No, he's not.
No, but not at this level. Not at this level.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you.
He is a coach.
The moment, who selects those players to be on the pitch?
Yes, but he expects them to have a certain basic competency.
So you cannot come to the media after the game and you say some players cannot pass the ball. No,
That's what he said.
No,
That's what he said.
that's the wrong comment.
I hear what you're saying.
Because
that the coach
he
shouldn't be saying
is
that.
the commander in chief.
Yeah.
He is the commander in chief.
He has to teach
So
those boys.
he has to put on the bulletproof.
But at this level, guys, where were these players developed? Anyway, it's a topic for another day.
Okay,
But
honestly speaking,
Yeah.
we need to understand and appreciate that Pirates players are far and better than cheaper players. So I expect a coach to know that, appreciate that,
Right.
and then design a team to try and make sure they frustrate Pirates and punish them in their weaknesses, try and get a
did
point.
you see how panicking the cheaper defense was? Even, you know what causes that? Again, I'm going to go straight to the coaching staff, what was said in the change room. It could have been Pirates players are quick, they're nippy, they're skillful, don't touch them.
There's one comment they always say.
Yeah.
If you joke around with them, they will skin you.
Yes,
Right.
So you have a
Right.
defense,
And now,
you
what
have a
happened-
player getting on the field of play, already one down.
Yeah.
He's already being told that
Because
the
he doesn't want
opponents
to
are
put his
better.
foot now.
You know,
but,
and then
but when you see those players, cheapers play on the field, you have an impression that they're not being coached because
Right.
they're leaving too much space. They left too much space to Orlando Pirates to take
Exactly.
benefit
I mean,
from.
look at how they considered the goals. I mean, for a team that's not playing with an identified striker, everybody's just using that space. The Pirates players, the likes of Hoto, the likes of Pule, they're using that.
yeah, but you know that's the complicated part of football.
Right.
When you have players who are just getting into those created spaces, it's very difficult to mark them, especially when you're the opponent without a structure. You can only contain Pirates if you have got a well-structured backline, which we're not going to be looking at the strikers making the movements, but they keep their structure. So I expect the coach to know that, listen, this is how we're going to play, irrespective of how Pirates is playing.
So why
you should have a game
do you
plan.
think, Timothy? Was it bad coaching? Is it just a lack of discipline?
No, like he's saying, you know, there's cheaper versus Pirates. The preparations are crucial. You need to recognize that Pirates is a superior team.
For sure, but I mean,
And
it's
then
cheaper
you know
shouldn't be
you're
the one
either-
thing that you're doing right is defending, because I can't go at them toe to toe.
Exactly.
So I must do
how
the
do you
basic.
prepare your team?
Yeah.
Make it difficult for them.
Talk to us as a defender. Then.
Yes, it's simple. Let me tell you something about big teams.
Right.
They don't like looking for
marked,
the ball.
yeah.
They don't need to be touched. So what you tell your defenders, they have to feel them. They need to know that the defender, you are behind them.
Right.
Let them receive the ball feeling that you are right there
Make
with
your
them.
presence known,
and then
yeah.
you start seeing them panicking, jumping around, calling upon the referee. Then you know you have got them a chance. And then
Okay.
when these big teams are playing the ball, remember they have so many numbers on attacking you. When you win that ball, you cannot also try to play around them. They're going to punish you. Get that ball, play a long ball, hold it there, try also to play. Let's see if they can sprint back to defend. Then you'll hurt them. You should have a game plan. As a team, you should have your own identity also of how to play your opponent.
I really felt sorry for the cheaper players.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw Siyabonga Tamsanga Sangwen. He almost got a red card because he was overworked in the middle. I mean, for a guy like Ben Mutswari to even forge forward and score a goal going
sure.
that far,
Yeah.
it should tell you that the half spaces that they were creating, even the
Yeah, those
diagonal
spaces.
passes that they were playing
Yeah.
on, it was quite nice to watch the creativity coming from the midfield of Orlando Pirates without a striker or even a typical number 9, you know, that they could reference on.
Yeah.
But they just went on all the way, exploiting the spaces, even the runs that they were making. I thought it was a practice match. And I was saying to myself, when is it coming to an end?
Okay, interesting one as Swallows FC continue with their drawing streak. I mean, I guess, you know what, if you're a newly promoted team and someone was saying that you've gone 7 games unbeaten, it would sound like a really good thing. It's just that I guess the expectation from Swallows this season after the season, or the start they've made, is that they're going to keep racking up the wins, but it's just not happening. And this in a week that saw them also, Jeff, have their first league loss, finally. That was done, you know, and a chink in the armor.
Yeah, it was coming. We could see that. This is not the Swallows that we knew when the season started. And I did say here that now that the team have been studying them, it will be very difficult for them to start bringing in wins as they used to do before. It is up to the coach now to step up and come with a better strategy, because some of the players are getting fatigued, yes, which is quite normal after a lot of games in the league and in the cup as well. So it has to go into probably the players on the bench or in the reserve team to try to pick up some 1 or 2 individuals that can come and try to give some kind of impetus to the senior team, because now it's not, yes, we say that 70 games that they couldn't lose, but they will start losing, and happens.
Okay, so one objective is met. They're safe, Swallows, as far as they're concerned. The coach is crying, though, that maybe they're playing too many games, they don't have the depth. Fatigue is something that he's citing.
Yeah.
And, you know, from the other quarters, boo-hoo. People aren't feeling sorry for him. They're saying, hey, all the other teams have to play. Why is the fatigue only for you guys?
All teams had preseason.
Right.
You had to reinforce the team, unlike Kaiser Chiefs. So he had that opportunity to reinforce the team.
Right.
He did reinforce the team. He knows his players. By now, at least he should know how to consolidate.
So what is that, an excuse?
I think he should stop lamenting and look at how best, you know, this was expected to happen. You know, after that good run, you know, you're going to have, you know, teams gaining access to your tactics and everything, how you want to do. And now with Swallows now, the goals are drying up. They're not scoring goals, and that's putting pressure onto the back line. You get the defenders trying to go upfield, you know, Viomel trying to go upfield to try and provide that assistance, and then they are caught on the counter, something like that. So their structure is being a little bit dismantled because they are in a hurry to try and win games. If I was the coach, I would say, listen, guys, we have done so far so well. We need to try and sit back. Let's play it safe, and when it's ready, we punish the opponent. Let's not be in a rush to try and get those results, because they lost to that same team, you know, and then they're playing the same. But at least you have a clue how they're going to play.
Right.
So for me, it was very important, know your opponents well. Yes, you're having a very good run, but don't lie to yourself that you're so good not to lose a game.
Right.
So take it game per game, and then they just need one win to try and get back their competition.
The primary objective has been
met.
Yeah,
for sure.
They have 30 points. Well, yes, that's safe.
Yeah.
So in the first season, you don't want to push it far. Now, as you say, now they can sit down and play it safe, and see how they can better this side or that side of the team position to beef up the team for the end of the season, and see what I can do on the market.
Normally, the problem that teams get under the likes of Swallows in that situation, you get management getting excited.
No.
And they start announcing that they can compete, they can win the championship, and that destabilizes. That's the pressure to the coach, destabilizes the players. It's very important to know, you know, how good you are.
Yeah.
And when you punch above your weight, you appreciate there, but still keep calm, and you compete. You can see that with Amazulu. The way Ben is handling it, various players are playing. You can't for sure name Benny's team. He will surprise you with 1 or 2 players.
Right.
And then you see how they are playing. They are just enjoying themselves, and that enjoyment is reflecting in points.
Yeah, but then again, I think you're just short of saying what they are writing on Twitter. But anyway, it's a topic for another day. But I think from my side, Brendan could have planted that seed of celebrating draws.
Right.
You remember when it happened with Pirates, it happened with Sundowns.
Right.
They celebrated like they've won. I mean, I don't know what was said in the.
But that's right, because you're looking at Chiefs,
Yes.
you're looking at Pirates,
You're looking at
you've got
teams
Sundowns.
that you didn't have a
Yes.
chance
A
against.
team of Morocco, Swallows, Celtic to pick a point or 3 points from those top, you just know you're in business. So how to manage that celebration is what is important.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was getting to say, now, how do you tell your players that it's wrong to draw? We could have won for a win, but now we've got a draw. Yes, we opt to say, let's be safe with the draw. We didn't lose all the 3 points. We only lost 2. So in this case, I think Solos have accustomed to drawing. They dragged that record thing too long to say that we have gone for the first round without losing. I said out of the 6, they were still at 6 then. I said out of the 6, 7 game draws that they've had, okay, lose 2 and win 5. You see,
Rather,
be happy
that
to lose the
split.
record and win 5.
Okay. Well, let's have a look in terms of the results as far as the DStv Premiership is concerned. Of course, at the weekend, there were other games on the go, and Stellenbosch were able to get themselves a very good result against Cape Town City. We always speak about Cape Town City being a good team, but good teams win things. You know, they're not going to win the league. They're not, you know, they're out of the cup competitions. So what exactly can we take from them and say, okay, well, as far as the season's concerned, they've done well? Can you say that?
Firstly, big up to both teams on the day. They gave us a beautiful match. That Cape Derby has actually got some ticks from me. I mean, look at how they were playing. You didn't know how it was going to end. For Cape Town City, well, it was on the downside because I looked at them as favourites coming to this, looking at their winless streak that Stellies have had. But on the day, they came up and dished a different approach on the game. And it surprised everybody because you knew that they are a conservative side. They'll always sit back and leave some gaps in the midfield because they're always playing defensive football. But this time they said, let's go to them. Let's give them pound for pound and see how far they can go. I mean, it was a beautiful match.
What I've noticed from the particular game, it was that because they've been criticized from the poor performance from the games that have been played before, but in this particular game, we saw another Cape Town, you know, and I was very happy with the approach of the game. When the game, it was a beautiful game, as you just pointed out, against Stellenbosch. But I'm seeing that they're coming. They're coming. So not not very far, we will see them bringing in one victory, important one.
Okay, well, it's interesting analysis there from my panel. We're taking a short little break, after which we're going to start focusing on the selection made by Munefentseki for his Bafana side as they go into some 2 crucial encounters. Monday Night Football continues after this. Welcome back on Monday Night Football as we look back on the squad selection that's been announced by Coach Munefentseki for his upcoming 2 games. And let's start with, I guess the biggest news of all is a surprise inclusion with Itumeleng Khune still being retained. Timothy, you know, you have the school of thought where you think the coach is picking on form and, you know, the kind of play that you've been involved in of late. Doesn't seem to be the case for Itumeleng Khune. Does that A, show that there's a lack of quality goalkeepers? And B, does he feel that maybe sentiment will help penetrate the camp, even though the guy might not play, just to have him around is going to be good for the rest of the squad?
I think this is a coach who shows that he knows his players, he knows the squad. And I think, yes, and I think for me that's
Okay.
that's a very good selection. And I can explain. You have got so many players playing, not turning out for their clubs, but they are very good for the national team. That's a given. Experience has shown it.
So form doesn't matter, whether game time.
There are so many theories.
Yeah.
Khune had started playing, and started getting back his form and everything, irrespective of, you know, the tragedy that befell him now. I think the selection of Khune is the right call by Nseki. Give me another goalkeeper of that magnitude that can help, you know, Bafana in this competition. I don't think there's any. You can challenge me on that. I think that was a spot-on call from an experienced coach.
But I don't think so.
Yes.
Well, first of all, Khune is no more convincing.
Right.
Locally, maybe, but just that. But now we're talking about Africa.
Yeah.
We're going beyond the local league. I know that players are picked up according to their forms in the league, but now Khune has done, you know, is it Rowan, the other,
Rowan
yes,
Williams,
the
yeah,
other
yeah.
goalkeeper. For me, it would have, for me, it could be the fair choice. But I know that the game time. But the mere fact that he sits also on the bench and he is a member of the team that plays, no matter because he sits on the bench, he deserves his chance to be given the number one spot.
I think they'll go with Ronan.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, Ronwin is the number one.
Absolutely. And Kune, what he did, going to clubbing and dancing, it doesn't give a good sign.
Right.
For me,
that
it should be
footage is
benched.
rather unfortunate.
Yeah.
You're right.
Still on the Kune family, condolences to them. I mean, the man is going through a lot.
For sure.
He just lost his sister in a very, horrific fire incident.
So justifies the clubbing.
No. That's just
should be mourning.
No.
We're conflating issues there, guys. We're conflating issues.
This is what
It's got
happened.
different
Jeff
things
has
there.
spoken about going to Africa, but as a national team coach, you select the best that you have got. And now he just selected 3 of the best South Africa has presented to us. And
Which
then they
is
have
scary.
to go.
Yeah,
They have to go into camp.
Right.
They have to go into camp. No, according to current form, he may not look the best, but I can tell you from experience, I've seen it. You get players who have not yet renewed their contracts, they are looking to renew their contracts, and the national team calls them. And because of that family atmosphere, because they have bonded together, they have got that history in the national team, they bring their A game. That's what they're looking up. So you're not going to get a boy from Amazul, even when he's performing well, and put him against Ghana. He will crumble. So all those factors come in. We have got the likes of 10 triple one. Asaswani. Perfect player for Kaiser Chiefs. He could not replicate the same form at the national team. Tabo Moki.
Right.
So you have got players who have got the mental strength to play for the national team.
Right.
And you have got players who are very good at confusing coaches at the club, but they won't deliver. Listen, my experience shows you have got players in training.
Yes.
Marvelous. Give them a
Yes.
game. You're like, Jesus me, why did I make this selection? So you have to understand player per player before you select them for the game.
Okay, to that point, then that could work to our advantage, Jeff, when you think about Ghana using mostly local-based players for their 24-man squad. I think 2 ply their trade in Asia. So already you're kind of seeing that it's not going to be the best of the best as far as a team. So an opportunity, once again, provided by Corona, by COVID, to, take advantage of this weakened, in inverted commas, Ghana side.
This is one negative point on expanding the tournament, AFCON to 24. Should have remained on the 16.
16.
Yes, 16. Because now South Africa and Ghana, they know very well that they will qualify. So what's the use to bring those guys for Ghana, for example, to come and play? For the game, they know that for 2 games, they know that they might if they can win one, they can draw another, and they still qualify. Yeah. So because they expanded, when you expand in terms of Africa, when you expand, the AFCON has been expanded too much, and we won't have the creme de la creme. We won't have a top football at AFCON.
Right.
You can leave that for the
Yeah.
stages.
Yes, when they qualify for that.
Are you surprised any exclusions from the squad? Any names that you were surprised not to see on here?
I thought not that deserves a call-up. At Cape Town City is one of those players that
Danzani, some would say.
Danzani as well.
At whose expense, though, is the question. When you include these other players, who sits out?
Yeah, well, well, let's just say, okay, what is my justification there of him being there? When has he played?
Or even Andy Jali.
Yeah, Jali's not playing regularly.
Andy
some would
Jali's
say.
not playing regularly.
But I guess to his point,
Yeah,
is
it
that
goes
horses
back
for
to him.
courses.
Yeah,
these guys are here
but
for
those are
this
players
purpose.
with strong minds.
Let me tell you, you get Jali getting the training at Sundowns, and you get a player at Celtic, Cape Town City getting that training. They are 2 different things. You get Zungo at Rangers not playing regularly, and you get a certain player again here not playing regularly. You can't compare the 2.
Right.
So the training is a maturation, that experience. You've got all that coming in. So when it comes to selection of the national team, all those factors play. It's not about rewarding a player who has performed well along this. Yes, there's that. But you are looking at the mental strength. How does this player handle this and everything? All those things come into play to select a national team player.
Yeah, but I saw him going in, Lubumbashi over the weekend. I wasn't really impressed by his play, although he came. He didn't have much time on the field, but he didn't impress compared to the other guy, the Rick.
Right,
The Rick, when he came in, yes, we could feel the impact that someone has just come in and replaced Erasmus here. So it was, I didn't feel it.
Right.
It's not the Andy Jolly that I knew.
Yes.
He's...
Look, with Andy Jelly, you're getting that stability, that cool mind when you're playing the likes of Ghana.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking in Jelly. When you're playing Ghana, you need a player who can take 2-5 seconds with the ball to cool off the pressure, just to give that other player a breathing space to make those runs. And you don't have many of those when it comes to South African players.
Sure.
Look, when we talk about Bafana, let's be honest. Look at the whole nation about the player that you have. You cannot compare with the likes of 1996. That's the reality. So it will be foolhardy to think that they can perform that extra. But what you have to nurture it, appreciate it, and then push it to believe that they can win, and they will win.
Okay, what about the coach saying that he's not selecting some players because he's looking to protect them? The likes of Njabulu Ngobo, just maybe too much too soon. But at the same time, critical matches where you need results now. I can imagine it's a delicate balancing act for him to find enough games for you to compete in and, it not to be looked at as friendly, for players to be effective. The calendar's so out of whack that these games take on a whole different meaning.
He says with Njabulu Ngobo, he's still concerned about the central defense. That is a very critical position. You don't want somebody new there who will panic and then one mistake, and then you know what they always say: once it passes the goalkeeper, it's a goal. He's a defender. He knows that if your goalkeeper behind you is not up to scratch, you as a central defender, you also have to cover him. So that's how it goes. The cover goes both ways. So with the likes of him, they call him Roadblock. He's a good player in the local league. But I also think that for him to go there, yes, for experience, just to observe how things are done, they could have used that system to say, let's take him on board, so they get the ropes of what is happening in the national team, just to have the sense of what the national team setup goes like, But then to play, let's just keep him a bit and just give him that call-up to say, come
Would
through.
that be the case if he played at Pirates, Sundowns or Chiefs?
No.
Would he be getting protected? Or would he be in that squad?
No, can I just be honest, brutally honest? I'd say no. Because they believe that, remember that the South African League is reliant on the, like earlier, he was saying that, Tim was saying that when you play, players that play for Pirates, players that play for Sundowns, they're on a different class because of the mental strength and everything else. So I think the coach was playing it cautiously there. The boy, I've even said that the boy is still young. He will grow in the game. He's good. Nothing can be taken away from him.
And remember, so many players are given an opportunity and they don't grab it. That's the end of them.
Yeah.
So you need also to need to think about that. But I liked what you said, because our grooming into the national team, you are invited into the national team. You have that rapport, the interaction, get to know what is done and everything like that. For the likes of defenders, the confidence of the goalkeeper is dependent on the defenders in front of him.
Right.
The confidence of the defenders is dependent on the goalkeeper they have behind.
Yeah, that's what we call good communication.
So now that understanding comes over time,
right?
Where the goalkeeper will know that if Timothy is still running with a defender, surely will make a tackle. I will stay. If Timothy is coming with the defender, I know he won't catch, then I can come out. That comes with that understanding over time. So you cannot get a player just now and fit it in some of those positions. That's why
very crucial.
They are calling upon Kune to come.
Well, it would help if there was a national identity.
He likes it.
We speak about Kune. It's kind of an indictment, though. The only Kaiser Chiefs player in the squad, and even then, barely. Does that kind of show us where they are as a team?
If you go on board and try to watch Kaiser Chiefs play, you can't blame the goalkeepers. I don't care. But if you look at how those goals are coming about and everything like that, the more mistakes are being created by the team, it impacts the goalkeeper leading them into making those mistakes. Yes, as a defender, when they score, when a striker jumps and hits the ball, most people will look, where was this defender? Where's Timothy? No, he's not marking. But it started somewhere. It would have been a movement, a ball being played wide, a defender moved to cover that space, is late to come, they hit the ball. All those things are in detail for those who are interested to know exactly what was the root cause of the goal. Now, with Kaizer Chiefs, you can see who is dropping the ball. Is he harassing the opponent attacking? Who is making an effort to bring down that? How is Kune getting into to play the ball and losing to make that killer pass? I know for a fact that if your goalkeeper has got the ball, you should wait to go upfield. Wait, because as a defender, you are trained to anticipate a mistake of your teammate.
Right.
That's a crucial policy for a defender. You should not be 100% that I trust this defender is going to give a good pass. No. You play in the negative just to wipe up. Now, all those are out of the window. When Kune has the ball, it's like everybody knows he's going to give a wonderful pass. And what happens? One miss kick, Kune is taken to the coolers. That should not be the case.
Whew. Timothy ESQ. That is quite the defense of Kune. If he ever needed a defense, that is one. I couldn't have put it better myself, but very good points that you've made there, so appreciate it. So unfortunately, that's all we have time for. As you know, every week we end up just running out of time, and today is no different, but we reflected on quite a lot as far as what's happening with the CAF competitions, the DSTV Premiership, and of course, the national team selection. Much to chew on for the rest of the week, and of course, in about a week's time, we'll reconvene and do it yet again. But until then, gents, I want to say thank you so much for your time. Jeff, Timothy, Timbane, really appreciate you tuning in. And to you two at home, to all the ladies tuned in, happy International Women's Day for today. That's why you didn't see any on the show, because they're all at home, relaxing, taking their day off. That's what we do. Anyway, until we meet again in a week's time, look after yourselves. For myself, Scamdon Bata, take care, sharp.